We need people to go to prison. We need justice for the victims of these heinous crimes. And the charges of genocide, the charges of biological weapons that are being used, these are very serious charges. If the judge in this case puts them on trial, I'm telling you, the international media will blow up, and we might see another Nuremberg trial take place.
I think maybe to summarize for the audience, because they're sort of falling into this thing, this was a court hearing where Mr. Stassen, a lawyer, lost his colleague, the main driver of this court case, Arno van Kessel, because he was arrested on the 11th of June. He is taken into a highly secured prison in the south of Holland so that his family can't visit him. I understand there's been no contact yet. Oh, wait. We're here. We're here in front of the courthouse in Leeuwarden, and we're here with Jim Ferguson. Welcome, Jim.
It's an absolute honour to be here standing with the Dutch people on this, what is a historic court case that's unfolding. Absolutely pleasure to be here.
It is an absolute historic court case, and it's a pity you don't speak Dutch because it was a bullseye, all the gloves off kind of court case. Meike, what is your impression of the hearing today?
Well, everything was said, and it was said quite loudly. So we're here for the truth, and there are three people who make the request to hear witnesses. But there were
two victims of the jabs.
Yes. Yeah, three victims of the jabs that make a separate court case, separate from the earlier one, which is already taking place. And they request to hear several witnesses, such as Catherine Olsen-Fitz, Sasha Latypova, and others.
And Mike Yeadon, because the discussion was a lot about Mike Yeadon.
Mike Yeadon, yeah. And well, it's interesting because the defendant is also Borla, who is the former employer of Mike Yeadon. So it was quite interesting to see that the lawyers of the defendants, they were taking it quite seriously. It was taking a lot of time. They said it was inappropriate to hear the witnesses because we could already read everything in the online media and so on. But I think that Mr. Stassen, the lawyer, made a very good point, acting on behalf of the victims, that it was necessary to give testimony before the court because it's the highest instance in the Netherlands and it's independent.
Yeah, and then the discussion was a lot about what we already have so many experts and why don't you take their word for it? But then Mr. Stassen said, well, this is the choice of the victims. This is their case. Yeah. This is the victims, the experts they want to hear. I thought that was a very good point.
Peter Stassen did a marvelous job. He was talking straight. He reacted very well on the lack of defense from those eight. It's
eight
really
lawyers.
Ridiculous. 8 lawyers, and then he just himself, by himself, and he gave all the right answers. And he had hoe noem je dat, een aanklacht?
Yeah, well, he had the charge.
The charge was great. Yeah, point.
Yeah. How was it for you? Because you sat in the room and you don't speak Dutch fluently, I understand. Did you get anything from it?
I did, because my colleague is somewhere around. I'm not sure where she is at the moment, but she was translating for me because she is Dutch. So actually it was getting the most salient points coming in. But as Mika was saying, basically that there is a real hardcore of evidence coming out here. And I think what we are definitely doing is winning the information war. And it's thanks to the viewers, it's thanks to the people who tune in and listen in from all around the world. My own channel has hundreds of thousands of people that follow us from the United States, Canada, Europe, and around the world. And I came here with the sole purpose of covering this particular case because I've been reporting on it over the last 2 days in particular. And I'm very, very proud to stand with the Dutch people. I think you're magnificent people. And I've always been made incredibly welcome here. But this is so important. It's an international precedent that's been setting here. And I said in several posts that this could set a new precedent for another Nuremberg II trial.
All we need is momentum. We need something to get people to finally throw off all their how do you call it, their blinkers?
Yeah. People in prison. We need people to go to prison. We need justice for the victims of these heinous crimes. And the charges of genocide, the charges of biological weapons that are being used, these are very serious charges. If the judge in this case puts them on trial, I'm telling you, the international media will blow up and we might see another Nuremberg trial take place. And if civilian courts can't do it, military tribunals can.
What did you all make of Bill Gates not having any defense other than saying, I'll comply to whatever the court says?
It was weak.
I think it was on behalf of the state, because it was the lawyer Mr. Heemskerk. He's the representative of the state. Is Gates?
Because Meuring and Veldhuis are for the state.
Yeah. And he said he adjusts to the defense of the state.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
so he said he will refer the matter to the court, which means he's not making any defense plea. And I think Mr. Heemskerk is one of the most brilliant lawyers in on civil court cases. So it was quite interesting, I thought, to see him not saying anything. And he's right. Like, the judge has to allow these witnesses to be heard in principle.
The witnesses or the expert?
The expert. Well, it is like the deskundige. Hè? So it's expert. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but it's like experts. Yeah, but they. Because as a party in a civil proceeding, you have a right to collect evidence. So in principle, it needs to be granted, this request, unless there is like abuse of the law. And this was not said. So it was, I think, Mr. Heemskerk was right that the judge in principle has to do it. Yeah. And I felt also it was quite strong as well that Mr. Stassen said, there is no consensus in science. There are scientists who give their testimony, and it's not a democracy that you have a majority says this and a majority. Yeah. A single scientist can make the difference for the whole group, and this is so true. So, and particular with Catherine Austin-Fitts, for example, she is very knowledgeable on very various subjects, and also she has is considered very knowledgeable also by many others. So it's not like that there are. I think Ms. Stassen also asked for the right amount of the right persons to be heard, and good witnesses, good experts, and so. I hope that the court will allow this hearing.
I think maybe to summarize for the audience, because they're sort of falling into this thing. This was a court hearing where Mr. Stassen, a lawyer, lost his colleague, the main driver of this court case, Arno van Kessel, because he was arrested on the 11th of June. He is taken into a highly secured prison in the south of Holland so that his family can't visit him. I understand there's been no contact yet. I just talked to a friend of his. And so he's accusing Alfred Bourla from Pfizer. Then there's two editors of a main news channel and a newspaper. And then there's a bunch of Dutch politicians that are all accused in this case. But it consists, I understood today, of two cases. So there was the original case that we had last year that's still ongoing. That was one of the arguments that's why we shouldn't hear the experts, because there was already a procedure going. But he said, no, this is a different one. There are three clients that want to have their separate case. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Just to make a frame.
So, of course, it's very disconcerting that Mr. van Kessel was arrested shortly after there was. They handed in some paperwork to the court in the other court case, and he was arrested by a special part of the police, which also has links to the military. So, in the other court case, there is also accusations against NATO.
NATO's involvement in the corona pandemic.
NATO was involved with the misinformation campaign and PSYOP operation. so to mislead the population. And then it's quite, of course, bizarre that the same NATO can also may perhaps get the lawyer arrested via a special part of the police which works for NATO. So it sounds to me very odd that a lawyer could be arrested and still we don't know anything about the charges.
And it's absolutely ironic that we don't know anything about the charges. He's been temporarily suspended as a lawyer for 6 weeks.
No, I'm sorry.
6 months.
No, more. The last 2 years, he's been 3 times suspended, and it means that he probably won't ever do his job anymore as a lawyer. The dean of lawyers, he was there when he was picked up from his bed, and that was the 3rd time in 2 years. So deliberately, they did this. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for that information.
Yeah, they did this to have him.
But really, just like Rainer Füllmich in a way.
Same story. I'm sorry. Same story. Lawyers are the sole persons that can reach to the right, to the judges. So if they. Oh god, ik kan ook niet goed echt Engels.
You're doing fine. We understand. Yeah.
He's been put away just so he can't.
Yeah, but he's been also, maybe for the viewers abroad, he's been put away in this prison, which I find really scary. It's a prison that they have, the interrogation rooms are inside the prison. And so a judge can hear the prisoners online, but maybe also inside. And we don't get to see those prisoners because they also made a court case within the prison. So in theory, a prisoner doesn't have to come out again and everything can happen inside. And inside is also a psychiatric prison. So it's like Guantanamo Bay marries One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
It's a really scary concept. And they're building another one in Vlissingen. Would you like to add anything to this case?
I would just say that there is huge international focus on what's going on here in the Netherlands. This case is particularly important, and I believe it will lead to other actions being taken in other countries and other nations. So this could be the spark that creates the fire that actually burns for justice for people all around the world. And I'm here to support what's going on here. I'm here to stand with Van Kessel. I'm here to stand with the Dutch people who are worried and upset. But the truth will prevail, and they can't silence everybody. But what you're talking about there with him being put into that prison, detained, arrested at his home, that is what is pure intimidation. They are trying to attack people. They are trying to show them up as an example of what will happen if you speak out. And that can't be tolerated. So all of us around the world need to band together. We need to unite. We need to support each other. And what you're doing here with the media that you're doing is incredibly important. And all of us play a part in all of that, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. Let's keep our fingers crossed, and thanks everybody for watching. Bye. Thank you.
If you want to take my details.
Yes.